Welcome, everybody. This is going to be week 3 and episode 3 of Baby and the Boomer. I'm the baby, Scotty Lerman.
And I'm the Boomer, Mike Neal.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Excited to be back for another episode.
Yeah, me too. So we just want to thank you guys for watching. That's awesome. We had a really good week last week. We had about 4,800 people watch the last episode 2. Well, that's up 78% from last week. So that's just crazy. We really wanted to thank you guys for watching. That just means so much to us.
Yeah, it's just incredible. A 78% increase in viewership in 1 week. And again, all of our folks in Baton Rouge and Birmingham and Huntsville and Knoxville and everybody in Michigan and all throughout the United States, we just very humbled and very appreciative that you like what we're doing, and we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. That's awesome. And we'll give a big shout out to Lead Hounds Marketing here in a little bit. They did a really good job with that. And if you want to watch the show or listen to the show in a few different ways, you can go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/babyandtheboomer. And there you can find the link for the YouTube channel. If you want to watch it on YouTube, I know a lot of people might want to do that at work. You can hit the twice the speed button, listen to us talk super fast. We'll sound like chipmunks. It'll be great.
Right.
But I actually do that. I do that with some YouTube videos. I'll do double speed so I can watch them faster, like TED Talks and that sort of thing. I'm just getting twice as smart.
Right, and that is a millennial thing.
I'm gaming the system.
Exactly, rather than just doing hard work.
No, why would I do that? Work smart, not hard.
Or do both and get rich. Work smart and hard and get rich. Boom. Lightning strike.
Like that guy did. And if you want to listen to it on our podcast, please listen to it on the podcast. That is going to be a big help for us. And if you want to review it, that would also be a big help.
Yes.
And subscribe, download the episodes, and that way we can really expand that network. To find us on the podcast, we'll put up the link. That'll be on there right after the episode. When we get that up, the podcast will probably be up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can also just search it on the podcast app. You can just search Baby and the Boomer, and you can find us on SoundCloud, Baby and the Boomer, that way, and you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah. A great way, for those of you who watch this evening or watch the full hour recorded, that's great. Some of you have to listen in while you're doing other things, and so this allows you to be able to go about your life and still get all your Baby and the Boomer fix all at the same time.
Yeah, so I think we have some new viewers, which is, like I said, that's awesome. Let's go over a little bit about maybe the aspect of Baby and the Boomer. Why is it Baby and the Boomer? How are we Baby and the Boomer? So I'm the baby, and this is the boomer. Right. So you got the baby and the boomer aspect.
Right. The
baby boomer, the age gap, might, if you can, see the video, you could kind of tell what the age gap is and why it's baby boomer and just a baby.
Yeah, it's very excessive. I'm 57, he's 24. So, and he's a millennial. I'm a baby boomer. We've got completely different perspectives on life. I've lived about twice as long as he has almost. And all my references are back to things from the 70s and the 80s. He wasn't born yet. He doesn't know these people.
Over my head.
And so it's a great mix, but we're very good friends. Yeah. And so we enjoy being together and talking sports, and hope you enjoy being with us.
It's awesome. So, that's a little background for you if you weren't really sure how the show kind of got started. So, like I said, only week 3. We are in the very early stages of it. And for helping us grow, we do reward those for share the videos, share the channel. We have some T-shirts that we're going to give away. Mike, why don't you tell us the first 2 T-shirt winners this week?
Well, we actually have 3 T-shirt winners this week. And so you see the T-shirt right here. By the way, people are clamoring for this T-shirt. We have people wanting to buy the T-shirt. And so we are selling them for $20. And so you just let us know that you want one. And we'll give you the address to send your check into. And we'll dispatch the T-shirt for you. It's $20 if you want to buy one. Or what you can do is what everybody else has done, hard work. Right, not hard work. They like and share the episode. So people that liked episode 2 and shared it with their friends were in the drawing for this week. And we have some people that did such good work in liking and sharing that we actually have 3 winners this week. One of our winners is Kim LeBove from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, home of the Tigers.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. And so, Kim, congratulations. Jeremy Piper, who is a rising sophomore at the University of Tennessee, an honors student at the University of Tennessee, Again, smart people watch this show, Scotty. Very smart people. So we'll be shipping your shirt out to you. Be very careful as you say that, Mike Neal. We'll be shipping your shirt out to you. And that was almost bad. And also Eric Spanier of Delaware.
Yep.
Right? So we found one person that lives in Delaware. So Eric, you and your family that are living in Delaware and have the state all to yourself, you'll get a T-shirt. So we're excited to give that to you.
Like, if you live in Delaware, who are you? Who lives there?
You are the pickle on the Wendy's hamburger between Pennsylvania and Virginia.
Yeah.
You're
New
like
Jersey too. Don't forget New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can't forget New Jersey because it's New Jersey.
But you're like the pickle. So
and if
nobody gets upset if it's on there. If they take it off, no big deal.
No big deal. If you want a T-shirt, if you want to pay for a T-shirt, which you don't have to do, if you share the episode, we could draw your name next week.
Exactly.
But if you really want one of these Baby and the Boomer T-shirts, which you do because they're awesome, you can buy one for $20. You can just send us a message on our page, and we'll be able to get that done for you.
Yeah, and I think our next batch we may do them in white. So if you like white T-shirts, hey, keep it up. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a set in white as well.
There you go. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna move to our next segment. And before we get to that, we want to shout out a big sponsor and a help of the page is Twine Graphics.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, they do such a great job. They put together the tabletop, they put together the banner, the T-shirts. If you need to go to anybody for any of the digital graphic, anything printed, Twine Graphics is going to be where you need to go, especially in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, I use them for my own business. They've done such a great job for us at Baby and the Boomer and getting us this look, this high level of professionalism that I'm using them with my own business, Michael Neal and Associates. And so John Bond and his crew are top notch, fast, quality price, high quality product. That's everything that you want in somebody that's going to develop your brand for you. So Twine Graphics, you can find them on Facebook, Twine Graphics, Franklin, Tennessee. Highly recommend you use them.
And you can also find them, their website is www.twinegraphics.com. Again, that's www.twinegraphics.com, and let them know that Baby and the Boomer sent you there.
Yeah.
And like I said, sponsor was for this next segment, which is our best and worst of the week. I don't know whether for you, I don't know if this is going to be a best or if it's going to be a worst. Diet Coke. You last week said that you were going to try to get off the Diet Coke. I noticed you got a cup of coffee there.
Yeah.
Got it. So where are you at with your Diet Coke right
Last week I made the major announcement that I'm off Diet Coke. And again, for those of you that know me or those of you getting to know me, I'm 182 ounce a day of Diet Coke. I love it more than most people I know.
Yeah.
Because it's never let me down.
And it's not, you get it at twice daily. But for you, it's not twice daily.
No. It's
more
20 times daily.
20 times daily.
Right. Yeah. When they call you by your name when you walk into a convenience store, you've got a problem. So, again, here's what happens. When you're my age, when you're in your 50s, all my friends were all losing weight, having lap band surgery, or giving up stuff. Because what happens at this age, you will learn this one day, is you get this phone call. It's like, hey, did you hear about Bill? And it's like, what? Oh, yeah, man, he died. Really? Oh, my gosh. And we all ask two questions. Every person my age has two questions. Was it a heart attack? And how old was he? Right? And then they're like, oh, yeah, he was 57. It was a heart attack. You're like, dude, I got to go to the doctor. I got to straighten up. Like, me too. So obviously now you know what happened. But I decided to give up Diet Coke, and I made it through last week. The hallucinations stopped about Thursday.
Okay.
Right?
That's not bad.
My skin being on flames like fire about Saturday. And so I'm working through it. Like right now, just low-level night sweats, delirium tremens, and I'm starting to get right. But, hey, 10 days with no Diet Coke. So
wow. That's awesome. That's really good.
So it's the best and the worst. If you're seeing horrible nightmares because you're getting off Diet Coke, that's the worst. But the fact that you've been able to do it is the best. So,
okay. So we're still kind of middle ground with Diet Coke.
I'm doing it. This is going to be a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Like Oprah.
Yeah, like Oprah.
Yeah, we're just going to have a breakthrough right on this show.
Can I be Oprah?
You can be my Oprah.
Yeah.
Now that's the most disturbing thing in 3 episodes. Right there.
That was it. So getting off Diet Coke seems pretty good for you. I think for both of us, a good best was Jordan Spieth, British Open or the Open Championship because there's only one Open. That was awesome. The 30-minute shot, just hitting his golf ball like I would normally hit my golf ball, double crossing it to the right. He basically, his line of sight was inside of a Titleist truck, if you haven't seen that. And he had 30 minutes to kill. That was pretty great.
Amazing.
Moved it and then got it over. Kuchar's just sitting in the fairway, just took a knee, took a respectful, English knee.
Ultimate professional.
And walked in the bogey putt. So he got a bogey and then just went on a tear. Bunch of birdies, got an eagle, told his caddy. He made this huge putt. Did you see that? Told his caddy, goes, go get that. And it was like the ultimate swagger moment. Just oozing swagger, and just took the tournament away. It was amazing. When golfers get on fire like that,
right,
there's almost nothing better to see that. And Jordan Spieth is just incredible, and his swing is so good that it hurts.
He took the tournament away. And again, this is a guy that I don't know how you don't root for him. Again, if he was Tiger Woods, this would be the only thing we would be talking about. Right?
Yeah.
Because Tiger was so big because he was Tiger, and we had been waiting on him since he was 5 years old.
Yeah.
But Jordan Spieth is an incredible golfer, and I think he's going to be an incredible golfer for many, many years.
Yeah.
And he's got a lifestyle and an attitude that's going to allow him to be great for a long time, it would appear.
I think what's the difference between Jordan and Tiger, especially this early, is Jordan has friends that are on the tour. Mm-hmm. And I think Tiger kind of isolated himself. Mm-hmm. Everybody was his enemy.
Right.
I think Jordan has his nice clique of people that he can get along with. So so when he does miss the cut or does not finish well, he's still got his buddies there. And Tiger, that was it. If he missed it or if he just had a bad round, that was so devastating.
Golf
and it took a toll on him.
Golf was Tiger's life.
Yeah.
And Jordan has a life well beyond. He has a faith that's well beyond golf. And golf is what he does. It's not who he is.
Sure.
And that's incredible.
Yeah.
You got to commend him.
So what is your what's your worst of the week? Did you have a worst of the week this past week?
Again, I think it's the Diet Coke, the withdrawals from the Diet Coke.
We need to talk about those dreams at some point.
No, we don't.
It sounds like
nobody wants inside of this. You don't want to get closer to that.
In there. Yeah, you're right.
No, leave it to me.
Yeah, I think my worst of the week was the NBA released the pictures of what the logos, they're getting sponsors on their jerseys now, not just during preseason, it's like all the time. It's about as big as that, but I'm a purist when it comes to sports aesthetics and that sort of thing. So seeing the sponsors go on, just kind of, I knew it was coming, I knew it was there, and it just hurt. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Well, and on Baby the Boomer, we've announced this episode 1. We have a no NBA conversation zone. So we just violated it. So I'm going to hold the baby accountable for saying the 3 letters that stand for, National Basketball Association in one of our segments. But I will give you credit. Mm-hmm. You were talking about them in a bad way, so I still feel good about it.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so we'll give you a break. So just a warning this time. You're on like 5 minutes of probation. Just on 5 minutes.
So now we don't have a host for 5 minutes.
No, you got to still work, but just know that I'm angry at you for 5 minutes.
I think after the show we just won't talk for 5 minutes.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be better. It'll be better for you, I think. But yeah, this is something that's going to happen. Everything that I don't like and about professional sports, the NBA leads the way in introducing it, and so here's another one. But you're going to have the Atlanta Falcons sponsored by Coca-Cola. You're going to have the Pepsi Cowboys.
Yeah.
There's just too much money.
Yeah.
And it runs everything.
The only thing is they're making such an incredible amount of money, and these players are making unforeseen amount of money, just so much money that it's like you don't even need sponsors. But if you just want to be continuously greedy and the rich want to get richer, so can't really blame them, but I really wish they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, this is America. There's not an idea of enough money.
Yeah, no,
right.
That. So let's move on to our next segment. Yep. So last week we had a pretty fun opportunity. It was pretty new news. Was the firing of, or the resignation of Ole Miss's Yeah, basically fire Ole Miss's head coach Hugh Freeze. And I was actually watching, there's a Netflix show called Last Chance U. Probably a lot of you seen it. It's at community college in Scuba, Mississippi, where if you're in a Division I school, you get busted for X, Y, and Z, and you have to leave Division I, go to JUCO, and work your way back up again. This is like the best school to do it. Like LeGarrette Blount went there. So some big name people have gone there, and they actually had Hugh Freeze on. They had one of the kids that went to Ole Miss. He came back and said, man, I think I'm in love with Ole Miss. I think I'm in love with those girls too.
Right.
And I just like couldn't believe, because I watched that episode the day after the news broke, and I was, wow, like could that even be like connected together? That he fell in love with Ole Miss, fell in love with the girls at Ole Miss, and basically the shoe that dropped was Hugh Freeze calling an escort service for basically the recruits, is what you would think it would be, much like the Rick Pitino situation at Louisville. So that was the shoe that dropped, and it was really weird to see it on Last Chance U, but it's a great documentary. Y'all should watch it. So really, what will Ole Miss do next? They're going to lose a lot of football games. That's what they're going to do next. They're going to be pretty bad. Their recruiting classes, like I mentioned last week, way out of control, and that's going to go right back down, and they're going to go back to losing football and losing a lot of recruits. What do you think is kind of up next year for Ole Miss?
Well, first I want to thank Scott Hall for his submission. He's the one that recommended. So Scott, one of my former lacrosse partners and still current friend from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for suggesting this. Again, we were able to break the news to everybody watching that Hugh Freeze had, quote unquote, resigned. It was really a surreal experience for you to announce that literally to me about 30 seconds before we went on.
It was exhilarating.
Yeah, it really was.
It was pretty cool.
You know, it's like we're legit, right? We're breaking a news story, everybody. A story, a good friend of mine knows a young man who went to high school here in the Nashville area and committed to Ole Miss. He's still a player there. And when he told my friend why he committed to Ole Miss rather than Tennessee or Alabama, it was because Hugh Freeze is a really good Christian man, and I think I could learn a lot from him. And you know, he redshirted his freshman year. He played scout team his sophomore year, special teams his junior year, and now it's his senior year, and this was going to be his time to shine. And the guy that recruited him let him down. And, you know, so I think this is how bad it is. I don't think anybody's reveling in this. I don't. No. Now, there's some Mississippi State fans reveling in it. I get it. I mean, that's hate. It's like Georgia, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, everybody. You know, I get that.
Yeah.
Now, but for most everybody else, I think it's such a bad situation. And it has such an impact, and it's been handled so poorly by the administration.
Yeah.
Remember, last week, I wrote in my blog on the SEC West about Ole Miss that it's very clear that the money people at Ole Miss are going to keep Hugh Freeze. That was about 2 days before he resigned, before this came out. But it's just the hubris of the situation for them to blame all of these violations on Houston Nutt. All Houston Nutt wanted was an apology.
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't on me. This is on you. They won't give it to him. He says, I'll get a lawyer. Lawyer starts deposing people. Where's his phone number? Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Literally. And now here's where you're at.
Yeah.
So, but this is a situation that could have been avoided. This is a situation that have to happen. But it's hubris and arrogance on display, and from everybody's perspective. So enough of the post-mortem. That's the lament portion of our show. But where do they go next?
Yeah.
I think they're going to go young coach with an offensive mind. Who do they have on their team? They've got a passing offense, a ton of receiving and quarterbacking talent, offensive line. And so I think they're going to bring in somebody who can work with that talent and who understands that this is going to be a project for a while. The good news is this, baby. The good news is this. Ole Miss is going to know what their situation is probably by the end of November.
Yeah.
They're going to know their total damage unless they appeal it,
Yeah.
which they're probably not going to, by the end of November. And then in December, when they name their new coach, that person's going to know what they're getting into.
Sure.
It would be terrible to try to recruit a coach while you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I think it's going to be somebody young. I don't think Les Miles is going to take this job.
No, that was a rumor that got shut down.
Right. I don't think this is a job for Charlie Strong. He's not going to coach for 1 year at South Florida, and he's a defensive coach.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be somebody like a Mike Norvell from Memphis,
Okay.
Mike Bobo from Colorado State.
Yeah.
Somebody that's got SEC pedigree, young, up and coming, and got an understanding that it's going to be a long haul, but this is going to be their opportunity to coach in the SEC.
Kiffin? Would Kiffin walk into that?
Please, God, give me that.
I want Kiffin at Ole Miss more than most things. Really, that would just be hilarious to try to see Kiffin and Saban go at it for a few years. It would just be good for the soul if we got Lane Kiffin.
I need a drink now. I'm
Yeah.
so excited about the possibility. This has to happen now. I will help Lane Kiffin move to Oxford because can you imagine Lane Kiffin, the guy for which the boundaries of good and bad really get blurred? You know, hey, at University of Tennessee, his very highly ranked recruiting class, 3 of those guys graduated college. There are more players, I believe, from that recruiting class that served prison time than actually finished college.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling you, he is an accident waiting to happen. So let's marry Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss with all those money people at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Let's see that mix. Oh, please, Lord.
Yeah.
Give this to us before you return. I'm just asking. Just let us have that.
That would be awesome.
Oh, this would be
So great.
I would actually that would be the most compelling thing in college football.
It really that would be every Ole Miss game would be must watch.
Right. And you just know something's going to blow up. You just don't know when,
Right.
and you know it's going to be bad.
And
But they'll win.
Yeah.
They'll win with
They'll-
Kiffin
yeah, they'll
because
probably
he is a
win.
quarterback genius, and he's one of the best play callers in all of college football.
I agree.
He's
Yeah.
just Lane Kiffin,
He's so good.
and he's going to Kiffin. He is.
Let's move to our next topic, our next segment, which is Brady versus Manning. But before we do that, definitely want to give a shout out, like I said before, Lead Hounds Marketing, not some made-up company I made up last week. Lead Hounds Marketing, like I said, they really, really helped out with the views. They know when to boost your posts. They know basically they're a marketing company that will really help out with
Social media.
And they really, really do a good job. And I am a firsthand witness to what they were able to do. Really boosted our views. They know, which cities to target. They know when to boost the post. They know how to do it. And great people to work with and work, alongside with. So Lead Hounds Marketing really is a great company if you're looking to do anything regarding marketing in your social media presence. And you can also find them on Facebook, facebook.com/leadhounds, and you'll be able to get in touch with them there.
Great organization. No one outworks them. That's one of the things they tell all their clients.
Yeah.
No one will outwork us. And they will learn about your industry, about your company. And for pennies, they will drive new clients, new leads into your organization that you would never have had they not been involved with your social media advertising. They have blown up my business in ways that I never thought possible, and they're doing great things for Baby and the Boomer.
Yeah.
And they'll do great things for you. Just got to give them a chance.
You got to give them a chance. So, you can find them again on facebook.com/leadhounds, and you'll be able to get in touch with them there. So, like I said, Brady versus Manning, you got a UT guy here. You got a Michigan guy here. So you're going to get some bias. Just be expecting that, which is good. You kind of want that. So
that's what this show is about. It's about fans. It's not about antiseptic.
Yeah. So I'll just let you lead this off. Peyton Manning better than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You can start with
right.
that.
I think again, I do not like to compare players across generations. Like the thing the NFL does, top 50 quarterbacks of all time. I hate that. Let me tell you why I hate that.
Okay.
Because you cannot compare the era that Sammy Ball played in, that Bart Starr played in,
Right.
to the era today where
Right.
they're playing on AstroTurf and the players are bigger and they're faster. The equipment is even different. The training methodology is different. Heck, the guys back in the 50s were smoking cigarettes on the sidelines
Yeah, they were.
and drinking beer. So it was a different game. So let's just give everybody all the greats their due rather than pitting them against each other. The reason I like this one is these are contemporaries.
Yeah.
And they played against each other so many times. So this is a really good comparison. But let me start this way. Both of them are great. I believe that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are in a group that very few can get into.
Yeah.
For different reasons, but they're both great. So what you're saying is we're comparing the Mona Lisa to the Sistine Chapel, right? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in that debate. They're both incredible works of art. These are both incredible players. So it's important that all my Big Ten folks know I'm not disparaging the Big Ten, Tom Brady in any way by saying there's no question that Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time. And if you'll bring up my view there, I'll just run through the list. If you're going to make the argument that Brady is better than Manning, you only have one argument: 5 rings. And then you just have to sit down and be quiet. You literally have nothing else to say because in every other category, Manning is 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses, head-to-head against Tom Brady in the playoffs, holds a winning record against him in the regular season. He has 5 NFL MVPs to Brady's 2. Manning has played for 4 different coaches. Brady has played for the greatest coach in the history of the NFL his entire length of time. Manning has more passing yards, more touchdowns. Manning has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the NFL. And he has and everybody talks about Tom Brady being clutch. He is. But Manning has more game-winning drives in a career than any other quarterback. Tom Brady's a great coach. He's a great quarterback. But outside of the 5 rings, I don't have any idea how you're going to make a case.
Outside of 5 rings.
Yeah.
So 5 rings to 2 rings. Right. Okay.
Okay.
So
I guess Dan Marino is not a good quarterback because he never won a Super Bowl.
This is my only argument, but
Okay.
that's one part of it.
As long as you admit that, I'm good to go.
Is 5 rings to 2 rings.
Right.
All of those 5 rings are because of Brady.
Yes.
One of those rings for Manning was because of him. The other one was because the Broncos defense is an all-timer.
Right.
Okay.
But I will say that Peyton Manning holds the record for most 300-yard passing games in the playoffs.
We're done with it.
Okay, I'm just saying that he's a great playoff quarterback.
Yeah.
And he played for some teams in Indianapolis that had no defense.
Sure. I will.
Right?
Yeah. Indianapolis did have some rough defense.
Again, Tom Brady, I want to be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady is like the ultimate male, right? If I could, I'd rather look like Tom Brady than Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah.
Let's just face it, Peyton.
Okay, I have more to.
Oh, okay.
Brady.
Really? You actually have something?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to go on another tear.
You were
attractive men.
You were wrong with in the regular season.
Right.
It's 11-6 Brady.
Okay.
The 5 Super Bowls. Brady was a 6th-round pick. Had to come back from being 4th on the depth chart.
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him great because Michigan wasn't smart enough to play him.
I don't think the 4 different coaches. I think 4 different coaches and then starting 4th on the depth chart. I didn't like that one.
Nope.
Brady is by far the most consistent quarterback of all time. For this long, no one has ever been this dominant and this consistent for this many years. from start to finish, Super Bowls. Yeah,
he's a great quarterback.
5 Super Bowls. That is the most important stat is Super Bowls.
No, it's not. That is not.
How is the Super Bowl not the most important stat?
Because
how is a championship not the most important?
Because a team wins a Super Bowl, not an individual. And Peyton and the Denver Broncos proved that when they won the Super Bowl, when Peyton Manning had his right arm hanging off by one tendon and couldn't throw the ball but 10 yards.
Okay.
But they won the Super Bowl. So, again, if Super Bowls define a champion, then, you would have to put some of the guys who are sitting around the ESPN table as great quarterbacks because they won a Super Bowl.
All of the Super Bowl wins that Brady won were because Brady was so dominant.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. He was the MVP every time, I imagine. I think it was the MVP.
I think, man, I feel like Malcolm Butler might have won the MVP the winner.
Malcolm Butler.
Brady and Breeze are going to pass Manning in yards in like 3 years.
Yeah, because he's retired now.
I think, and then Brady will just get more. He'll get more yards than him.
Right, and because he's going to play longer than him.
Right, which the best availability is, or the best, he's available. He could play. Peyton can't. Brady played longer. Brady got more yards. He's better than him.
Wow, I can't even believe
Brady is better than him because he played longer and he got more passing yards and he has more Super Bowls. And really, Manning was just along for the ride, like I said, with that last Super Bowl. The only people that think Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady are like Tennessee fans and like Colts fans.
Yeah, I completely disagree.
Those are the only people that think Peyton Manning's better.
I would like for you guys to weigh in right now.
Already asked. I already typed it in there because I want to know what they're saying.
So, because I believe that's a fallacy. I believe a lot of people believe that it's only bitter Tennessee fans that Peyton didn't win the Heisman Trophy when he should have, and the biggest ripoff in the history of Heisman Trophy voting, that we're angry and bitter about all that, and Peyton's our guy, and he is. But I will tell you that you're going to be wrong about this. There are a lot of people that will take this argument because there are a lot of people out there listening right now and who will weigh in later who listen to facts rather than 5 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls. That is again, you said a lot of things, right? But ultimately came down to he has 5 rings. And that is not the measure of a great quarterback. That is a measure, but it is not the measure. And all the other measurables, other than maybe the one that I misquoted, are weighed out in Peyton Manning's favor. Boom. Mic drop. That's too big to drop, but if I could drop it, I'd just drop it right now.
And that, Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is the greatest NFL player of all time. How is he not?
He is one of the greatest. Again, this is the problem. Now we're going down the rabbit hole of comparing a defensive end to a quarterback. There is probably no better player that's ever played in the NFL than Reggie White or Lawrence Taylor. This is the problem that you're going to get into when you say what you just said.
Sure.
He's the greatest player in the history of the NFL because you're comparing completely disparate positions over disparate eras, and I don't think you can do that. But if you want to make that argument, we can start going down there and we can throw out, hey, there's people on this listening to us right now that were teenagers in the 50s, and they will probably be able to throw out some people that have Sam Huff, who played in the 50s for the Giants. You don't even know who Sam Huff is, do you?
Absolutely not. No.
Sam Huff, he literally was on the cover of Life magazine. It was called The Face of the NFL. Played in the greatest game, they say, in the history of the NFL, Colts and Giants NFL Championship 1959. There's people that are on right with us right now who watched him and may make that argument he was the greatest player. So it's just I don't know how you dispute it. Because in his era, he was.
I think, all across the board, it is hard to say. But I still think it's the comebacks in the Super Bowls. It's the game-winning drives in the Super Bowls when it mattered the most. Brady was there. Brady won them. Peyton wasn't there. Peyton didn't win them. Besides one, where it was really him.
Right. So did he lose then the Super Bowl against New Orleans? Did he lose that one when he threw for?
And I feel like the losing one that will go across the same board because Manning probably was a big help for both of the Giants wins, and Breeze was a big help for the Saints win, and same with the Seahawks. Really took it to town to the Broncos in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're back to the 5 rings again. Yada yada yada, 5 rings, and so we come back to that. So what are some of the people saying? Let's.
Mark said just because he went to Michigan, he's terrible because he's an Ohio State fan. That's absolutely delusional.
That's what you can count on Mark just to be violently angry about anything Michigan.
I don't know why he's so
because he's Ohio State.
I don't know. Yeah. And somebody said Robert Horry is better than Larry Bird because Horry has more rings and played longer. So they're like going against my argument.
But who was that? Who was that?
Chris Hall.
Chris Hall, dude, that was some game. You need to listen every time.
Tom Brady's a better quarterback than Peyton Manning.
Okay, see, and this is what I love. If you keep saying it, it doesn't make it real.
I don't think me just saying it over and over again. I'm just telling you.
Right.
Brady's better.
And it'd just be awesome if you had a multitude of facts to make that happen. We better move on because, again, this is the argument. We'll be having this one in heaven. But again, I cannot wait to ask the Lord about this one.
And speaking of quarterbacks, let's go into 2017. So we'll get out of the Manning Brady here thing for a moment. We'll get right back into it. So top 5 quarterbacks. We'll do a top 5 list every week for you guys. So top 5 quarterbacks in 2017. Who's going to be the best 5 in the league?
Yep.
And go with your number 5.
Drew Brees. He's going to throw for a lot of yards because that's what he does, and they never have a running back you can depend on, one that stays healthy. He is one of the all-time greats, and he's getting older, but I would take a older Drew Brees than a younger just about anybody else. So Drew Brees is going to be – I believe I wrote today in the NFC South prediction blog. Again, go on to our Baby and the Boomer Facebook page. We're blogging virtually every day about the upcoming football season, both NFL and college. Today I gave my NFC South predictions. I think New Orleans will win 6 games, and I think those 6 games will be won because of Drew Brees. He is a fantastic quarterback.
He's really
I don't know what else to say. I don't know how you would argue with it.
The only reason I didn't have him on my top 5 is Brandon Cooks going to New England.
Yeah,
that was he would be number 6.
Yeah,
he's right there.
And what I would say to that is, how many of the receivers that have been at New Orleans have ever been great, and then when they leave, that they're ever great? Drew Brees makes wide receivers get paid, and then they completely flop with another team.
Michael Thomas from Ohio State, he's basically just going to do the same thing because there's no shot for any sort of championship in New Orleans.
Nope.
Number 5 for me is going to be Stafford. He just always puts up insane fantasy numbers. He has just got a really nice connection now with Ebron and with Golden Tate. And he's got some great running backs that he can throw to. Amir Abdullah is really good out of the backfield. So I'll go with Stafford for my number 5.
Matthew Stafford is coming to his own, even though he's a Georgia Bulldog, and I can't get past that fact. When Calvin Johnson retired, that was one of the best things that happened to him. I just think from a legacy standpoint, because so many people
just associated any success. Okay, I see.
With Megatron. And so, but he has grown as a quarterback. He turns the ball over fewer times. He's tough, and he has learned when to throw it and when to throw it away, something that people with big arms have a hard time learning to do. Mm-hmm. And he can put a ball in spots that very few quarterbacks can with velocity. And so I can't argue with Matthew Stafford at number 5.
Yeah.
Again, it would be hard for us to argue with each other at this segment because there's lots of really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And picking a top 5 is, whoever we would say is 6 and 7, they could be in the top 5 too.
So who is going to be your number 4?
Andrew Luck, again, the ultimate quarterback mind. I think he and Matt Ryan are the two guys that remind me of Peyton Manning the most.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Luck is just getting I'm afraid he's having some years taken off his career with his terrible offensive line they've put him with. Yeah. And I think they've upgraded it, but he didn't have a bad year last year. He was running for his life. He played injured, and when he probably should have sat out some more. Yeah. And but he's going to have another great year because he is an amazing quarterback.
Yeah,
everything you want in your quarterback.
Great football mind. Yeah, super good. The only reason I didn't have Luck on my list is because of that offensive line.
Yeah.
Can't trust it. He's been hurt for so much. I just don't really see – I mean, he's going to light up the AFC South. He'll do that again. But I think Luck, just that offensive line, all those injuries, super hard to put him on there.
Right.
That's why I went number 4. I went with Russell Wilson, another guy that is really good at those comebacks and that clutch player. Nobody on his team really seems to like him. I think he's one of the guys that's just like nobody in the locker room is too big a fan of Russell Wilson.
And why do you think that is?
He's weird. I think he's just a weird guy.
Right.
I think he has a little like social issues too.
Right.
I don't think he gets it.
Do you think it has anything to do with his belief system that he's such an overt Christian that in a gladiator sport like the NFL that bothers some people?
It might.
Okay.
I think it does. And I think he's also just kind of a weird guy.
Okay.
So Russell, he's going to have some really good targets out there. They got Amar Darboh from Michigan, who just catches everything. He's going to be really, really good in that system. Just a classic kind of like Pete Carroll kind of wide receiver.
Good point.
Yeah, Russell will be really great there in Seattle. Hot take. Let's go with your number 3.
My number 3 is Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. He and Aaron Rodgers are my 2 favorite quarterbacks playing right now. I noted today in my NFC South blog, which you need to catch, Matt Ryan improved dramatically 2 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, he had a really bad year, playing behind a terrible offensive line, running for his life. But he turned the ball over. He threw interceptions in the end zone at critical times. He got his body right. He invested more into weight training. His body is bigger and better, and he improved his footwork tremendously, such that last year the offensive coordinator was able to roll him out away from pressure because he'd improved his body and his footwork so much there. And I would just say that Matt Ryan, if you look at his stats are very similar to Peyton Manning's at this same point in time in his career. And remember, Peyton Manning, the knock on him, can't win the big one. He'll never get to the Super Bowl. Don't sell Matty Ice short. Matt Ryan's going to win a Super Bowl for what he's done, I believe.
Yeah.
He's a great quarterback, a great leader. He's everything you want. He's got swagger, but he's not over the top with it.
Sure.
Players love playing for him. Receivers love to play for him. Coaches love to coach him. And he's everything that you want.
How do you think with Shanahan being in San Francisco, the offense will be?
They're going to take a step back. They'll take a step back. In fact, the Falcons' offense caught fire last year, if you'll remember, over the course of the season as Shanahan and Matt Ryan really bonded. So I think they're going to take a step back. But if you look at all the talent they've got on that offensive line, at the receiver core, at the backfield, they got all the weapons. You and I could get together, and probably I think the Falcons are going to at least make a wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, or we're going to score a lot of points.
I had Coleman and Freeman on my fantasy team, and I was just loving it. You can start both of them, and one of them is going to get 20 points and just make up for it.
Yeah.
So I went number 3 with Aaron Rodgers. Kind of saw it towards the end of last year, just how hot he can get and how much he can produce. Again, like, it doesn't really matter who his receivers are, really. I mean, it could be like a James Jones, that sort of thing. He wears a hoodie while he plays football. I don't really get it. But Rodgers will find a way to get a ton of points. Again, he's one of those fantasy guys you just have to have if you can get him.
Yeah.
And he'll just light up the scoreboard. And you get to play the Bears twice a year, so that is another opportunity to just really, pad the stats.
They get to play your Bears,
my Bears, yeah,
the baby Chicago Bears.
I don't know why I jumped on that bandwagon, but we just wanted to be a part of the Soldier Field, and we wanted to see a traditional team do really well. I sucker for the traditional teams, but
I would just say this:
just wanted them to do really well, and in a few years, maybe.
I would just say the train between Nashville and Chicago has multiple stops, and you might want to try to get off at one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe not the one in Indy. I don't want to get off.
No, you don't want to get off there. No,
sorry, Luke.
I will say this: Aaron Rodgers is just somebody that you can never count out. You are never ahead by enough. Last year, he looked terrible for a stretch of time when his team was very injured. Yeah. And he was trying to do it all. The Tennessee Titans beat him here in a game where he looked worse than any time I've seen him in his career here in Nashville against the Titans, when the Titans really took it to the Packers. But then flip the switch, and now it's on. Yeah, flip that switch. That's been a big buzzword this because of those 3 letters you don't really like with the team from Cleveland that bounces an orange ball. Flip the switch. That's a buzzword. Yeah, flip the switch. Yeah, we're going to leave that Rodgers. So I will never use that buzzword again now. As long as I know it's associated with professional basketball league that will go nameless, I'm not going to use it anymore. So, again, Aaron Rodgers has proven his worth. He's still great. He's still healthy. And, I sure would want him on my team. And that's your number 2. That's my number 2. Yep. And it's interesting. I'm a huge Matt Ryan fan, and I put him number 3. And you put Matt Ryan ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Yep. So, Aaron Rodgers is fantastic, and he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the game. I think, that Ryan – I put Ryan at number 2 simply because he has so many weapons. And Julio Jones is just incredible. You could see that in the Super Bowl. That duo is going to, again, just blow up this year. And Matt Ryan putting up – did he have 500 yards? Yeah. I think did he have 2 last year? Yes, 2 games, 500 yards. Yes, he did. He's going to do that again. Even if Shanahan's out of there, I think Matty Ice is going to be able to do that. I really am. The only thing I am kind of worried about is the Super Bowl hangover. That really does seem to hit teams pretty hard, especially their loss. I'm sorry, Mike, but that is a big hit. And that Super Bowl hangover could be a little bit much, but I think after a while they'll get used to throwing touchdowns and running up the score. There's a long track record that would support your theory that the Falcons won't even make the playoffs. Yeah. I think that's statistically you could say that. I don't think this is going to be one of those teams. I think Dan Quinn is a difference maker as a leader of a team, and I think he is not going to let them lick their wounds. I think they're going to come out loaded and ready with a chip on their shoulder like no one has ever seen. And I think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction right now. Ooh. We'll do that. We'll do that for you soon. Rematch. I believe there's going to be a rematch next year. I'll do it right now. Yeah. Patriots and Falcons. I was going to tease it, and then he just went and jumped over that, so we don't have. I'm not going to tease. I'll just talk about it more when we get there to that show. I don't have my picks yet, so I'm not going to make that. And I got to wait for training camp injuries before I make my picks. Yeah, which is why you always do your draft after preseason. That makes sense, but I've never been prone to making sense, so I'm just throwing it right out there. True. Rematch. So that was my number 2 is Matt Ryan. And what is your number 1? Tom Brady. There you go. Tom Brady. Right? Yeah. Not the greatest of all time, but the greatest right now. And that's not even close in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right now.
Tom Brady is the man.
Yep. And with Brandon Cooks, he's my number one. That is going to be incredible. The Patriots are very rarely do you win the Super Bowl. You come back and you're already you're the heavy favorite again by so much. Most teams, they win the Super Bowl, they will either leave, they'll get more money, they got their championship, they'll go back to maybe a hometown, that sort of thing. They pretty much all just stayed there, and they know how good it is. And Belichick is a crazy genius, and
greatest of all time.
I love watching his press conferences. They're just comedy gold in those press conferences. And yeah, you'll see just some amazing things this year with TB12.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that is what a franchise that has become.
So we'll go ahead and move to the last segment here, and this is kind of one of those things that some people like to. They always got this one thing that they love. They love doing this one thing. And then the opposite of it, you're like, really? That's kind of stupid. I don't really like that. You have a really good one, and I agree with you as well. I think it's something people just brag about. They'll post those Instagram pictures. They'll say, oh, it's this and that. What is your thing that everybody loves and that we actually hate?
Okay. So this is where we want you to participate. So what's the thing?
Yeah.
Just so give us some feedback. What's the one thing that everybody says, oh, I love to do so-and-so, that you just think, I would rather be shot in the kneecap with a nail gun than do that? For me, it is the outdoors.
Just the whole outdoors.
No, being outside.
Yeah,
in general.
Yeah, just walking out the front door.
I consider myself to be an avid indoorsman. Right? Yeah. I mean, I have a picture of Mr. Train in my room. The inventor of the air conditioner.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't understand people that want to get in a tent and sleep on the ground in the heat with bugs, and then to sweat and then hike up a hill, and so they can look at where they're going to go back to and drink that in. I don't understand people that want to go outdoors. I don't understand people that want to camp. I don't understand any of it. And so I want to be indoors. My idea of camping is a Hampton Inn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's no no in-room dining that you could call for. You'd have to actually have the food brought in from a third party. There's no restaurant there. So to me, that's camping. And so that's something. And everybody judges you when you talk like this. They're like, you don't like nature? No, I don't. I appreciate it. I'm glad you do. I'm not knocking it. Go do that. It just frees up the road. If you're in the woods, that's one less car on I-65 for me, right? So I'm not against it. But just don't judge me back that I don't want to sweat like somebody, about to go to the electric chair.
Do you get allergies? Do you have allergies?
I take so many medicines.
Oh, okay.
I've got like 2 nasal sprays and 2 different medicines.
Yeah.
There's no possibility I could have allergies because I'm so drugged up all the time.
That means you have allergies.
Well, yeah, I do.
Just because you take like a cholesterol pill and your cholesterol is lower doesn't mean you don't have high cholesterol.
All right. Why do we got to go there? Why do we got to go to cholesterol?
I don't know. Never mind.
Let's not talk about that, Scotty.
It's not,
all right, so we share a lack of love for the outside.
My one that everybody seems to love and that I really don't want any part with is concerts. I just don't get it. And I live in like the hotbed of all these concerts and that sort of thing.
Nashville, Music City.
I can hear the music for free whenever it sounds better. And I can just not spend $80 and barely hear the music and have to throw off people that are falling on top of me and people standing the whole time, or they're sitting the whole time when they should be standing. It's just, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to spend that much money and I'm going to pay for parking and I'm going to go through the crowds.
Yeah.
It's going to be for a hockey game or a football game.
Yeah.
I'm not the only thing I don't get about concerts is you can hear the music better on Spotify, on Apple Music. I don't get concerts. That's it.
I completely agree with you. And again, so we are crossing the generational divide right here. you realize how many things we disagree on, and we are agreeing on this? This is an incredible partnership. We're bonding. This is what nations need to do. They need to talk about what brings them together rather than what divides us.
Yeah.
We'd have a better world. But I agree with you on concerts. You know, if I wanted somebody to throw up on me, I would have another child.
Yeah, right.
Rather than having a grown up throw up on me. And again, so people my age, males my age, love the band Boston.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, I hate Boston. I've always hated Boston. That is the most overrated. Again, I'm going to set some people off now. There's some people my age that are having to take heart medicine right now. Like, he's talking bad about Boston. They suck. And they've always sucked. But when they go in concert, again, who wants to watch Boston in concert? That's a studio-invented band.
They have like one hit song, and you just listen to that.
Oh, no. Don't listen.
And
listen.
go down.
What are they sold more records than, you know, whoever. But the bottom line is, why would I want to go and listen to them be bad with a bunch of 55-year-old and 60-year-olds getting drunk and acting like 16-year-olds rather than listen to them when they don't suck as bad in recorded music?
There you go. They're just, Boston.
Yeah, look at their top hits.
I actually was like, they've had a song. I looked them up. I don't know any of these.
Yeah.
No, Feeling Set and Uncut. You see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, every one that is listed there, I remember, and it still makes me nauseous. Some of the high notes.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know any of these.
Yeah, well, that is one great thing that you were not alive when Boston was popular.
Yeah, but I still have to deal with, like, Ed Sheeran and stuff.
Yeah. Ed Sheeran had a point in time.
I'm just jealous. He's red-haired and he's successful, and I'm not. I think that's it. Yep.
I'm sure you're just bitter.
I'm really bitter.
Okay.
Salty.
I think we've had a breakthrough here. This is how we get better.
We're just opening up. This is,
because we want to be real with you.
Free. This is a nice free, well, maybe not free, but it's a nice counseling session for everybody on Facebook to be a part of.
There we go. So what are some of the things that our loyal followers have shared with us?
Dave Piper just says Mike Neal doesn't do outside.
Okay, and that's another thing that I hate that other people love is the idea of doing something, like doing food. Dave Piper is notorious, and I have other friends who I love in spite of this who say, I'll do a cheeseburger. No, you won't. You'll have a cheeseburger. You'll consume a cheeseburger. You'll possess a cheeseburger. You do a job. You don't do a piece of food. If you do, hey, you need to see somebody. But it's such a hipster doofus thing to say. It makes me want to lash out.
It's a hipster doofus thing.
Yeah, so this is Dave Piper just setting me off at work day. So congratulations to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's great. No one else. We'll see in the comments later.
Right.
So things that you hate that everybody else loves.
Right. Weigh in.
We want to hear it.
You got to have something.
You got to have something. So,
let us know about your neuroses.
Yeah.
This is what the show's about.
Yeah.
Let it go.
So we are going to do our first ever episode 4. That's going to be next Wednesday, same time. So you can catch us there. Again, if you want to listen to the show, go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/babyandtheboomer. You can find our YouTube channel there in the bio. And then if you want to find us on iTunes, we're going to post a link. You can go to the podcast app, type in Baby and the Boomer, listen to it on the way to work, the way back from work. And that's how we want you guys to be able to hear the show. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. We'll want you to share that video, share the page. And if you do that, if you shared this week's video, we'll put you in the drawing and we will draw your name for a t-shirt if you're one of the lucky ones.
We may draw for 4 shirts next week. It just depends on how well you do.
We got shirts.
Next Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Don't miss it, episode 4. We love you and we need you.
All right. See you guys. Love you guys.
Take care.